This marker honors Anna Julia Haywood Cooper, who was, as the marker reads, an educator, orator, and early black feminist, graduate St. Augustine's, author, A Voice from the South, 1892. Anna Julia was born in Raleigh into slavery in 1858 to her enslaved mother, Hannah Haywood, and her undisclosed father, most likely her mother's owner, Fabius J. Haywood. After emancipation in 1868, Anna Julia began her educational journey on a scholarship to St. Augustine's, a school located in Raleigh which specialized in teaching former slaves and their families. Anna Julia excelled in school in both liberal arts and science and mathematics, and yet Anna Julia was discouraged from higher-level courses because of her gender. She fought for her right to take these higher-level courses by once again showing her immense intellect. Anna Julia went on to earn her bachelor's and master's in mathematics from Oberlin College in Ohio, and later in life earned her Ph.D. from the University of Paris. She was an educator at St. Augustine's and other schools throughout her lifetime, while continuing to advocate for black people, especially black women. In her famous work, A Voice from the South, by Black Women of the South, she addresses the progression of women in America moving from only domestic life to a more worldly presence, and how the female view, like the African American view, will only benefit society when taken into consideration. In a notable quote from her book, "Not the boys less, but the girls more," it would be subversive of every human interest that the cry of one half the human family be stifled, shows her strong views of the bringing about of equality, and this laid some of the foundation for the earliest feminist movement. Her book led to the creation of the Washington Negro Folk Society because this book contained a lot of African American folklore. Soon after the publication of her book, she spoke at the World's Congress of Representative Women at the Chicago World's Fair in 1893, and the gist of her speech was that all women, black and white, share the same fight in gaining independence and suffrage. The Anna J. Cooper marker is one of 6 markers in the North Carolina Historical Marker Registry that honors former North Carolinian slaves. She is the only woman represented. Her marker is the second to most recently cast. Her marker was cast in 2010 and the most recent was cast in 2018. The marker is placed where it's placed for no other reason besides its proximity to the Raleigh City Cemetery where she is laid to rest. The Anna J. Cooper marker has somewhat been in the news recently because a new marker honoring another former North Carolina slave was placed in early 2018. Anna J. Cooper was also in news headlines when in 2009 her words were placed in the United States passport. The quote reads, "The cause of freedom is not the cause of a race or a sect, a party or a class. It is the cause of humankind, the very birthright of humanity." The North Carolina Historical Marker Program added the Anna J. Cooper marker in 2011 after her name became eligible in 2010 due to a surplus amount of people advocating for a marker representing one of North Carolina's most notable speakers. Anna J. Cooper was eligible for the marker program because she has been deceased for at least 25 years, and she passed all qualifications to be recognized by the state of North Carolina because her work showed statewide significance, not just significance in the Raleigh area. The Anna J. Cooper marker is the same style as every other North Carolina historical marker, but 3 points of interest on the marker are noting her to be a black feminist, a graduate of St. Augustine's, and the author of A Voice from the South. First, being a black feminist is different from being a regular feminist because black feminism is a concept that gender and race go hand in hand, meaning that feminism should be intersectional and should recognize the trials and tribulations that women of color face more than white women. Second, it's interesting that the marker recognizes her as a graduate of St. Augustine's because she attended other universities and worked at other schools throughout her lifetime. But it's important to note this because St. Augustine's was the first school that she attended, and it was one of the first universities, not only in North Carolina, but in the country, to school former slaves and their families. Third, it's most interesting to note her publication of A Voice from the South because this novel was very influential in establishing progressive views on both feminism and combating racism in America, especially in the time that she lived. By honoring this progressive work of literature, North Carolina recognizes its importance to state history and culture.